Hello, hello, everyone. Oh, I can see that a few of you are already in here in the chat. Hello there. Hi, Carrie, Zen Mama, DB in Arizona. How is everybody on this Wednesday, middle of the week here again? Here we are again. All right. Hello there. Hi. So I'm just checking, make sure everything's connected, that you guys can all hear me, see me. Let me know if you can see. I'm guessing you can hear me because you're greeting me. So hello. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you're having an okay week. I know I've been so busy, like I'm still kind of a little bit out of breath because I've just been running around. But yeah. Oh, 2 a.m. for you. Wow. Nice. Yeah, just some weeks. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me, you can see me. I'm over here kind of wiggling my fingers at you. Texas. Nice. Yeah, it's sometimes we've got weeks that are just a bit longer. Days that are a bit longer. And so that's why it's nice to be able to do this, because I know that if I didn't give myself a break like this, I would just keep doing things. And yeah, definitely. I'm glad that we're here. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, Tash. Coming through loud and clear. Picture is clear. Thank you. Konnichiwa. From the lurking corner. Hello, lurker. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, so whatever time of the day it is for you, if it's early, if it's late, for me it's 5 p.m. I've been busy all day. I have a good snack with me today. I have some dirty rice that just finished cooking in the kitchen, so I'm looking forward to having that later. And yeah, I think we're just gonna get working on this. I'm thinking that today will work for about an hour. Just because I do have to get back to doing other things. But yeah, so let's give this about an hour and see if we can get this finished. So hopefully you have your supplies today. So if you started this drawing with me last time, you probably have that and whatever other progress you've made on it. Just regular paper is fine. If not, you can always start a new one with me today. That's fine too. Let me see if I can locate the pen that I was using. I know I was using a Fude Nosuke. I don't think it was this one. This one's a little bit blunt. So in a second, I'll need to locate one that's a little newer. I know I was using a different one. Probably this one. Yeah, this one's newer. So this is the hard tipped. No, I think this is the soft tip. It's all good though. All pens are great. All right, so I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to just kind of relocate my device here. So we have a little bit of a better view here. And today I still have my cutting mat on here. I might actually remove that. I don't know, do you guys think that having this kind of dark thing underneath, is that annoying or is it good? Let me know, please. Hello, Margaret, Monique, Jenny, Angela. Hello, everyone. Let's see, somebody has a question. Do you think there's such a thing as too many doodles? No. It's a good contrast? Oh, okay. I'll keep it for now. We'll see how this works. Sometimes I'm not sure if this is... I know for me, having that grid back here kind of puts things out of focus sometimes, but we'll leave it for now. Let's see how it goes. And I will continue to look through my pens real quick to see if I can find that other pen that was doing such a great job last time. Got my usuals. Boy, do I have pens. Please tell me I'm not the only one. Ooh, maybe this guy? Let's see. Nope, this is a mono drawing pen. Maybe I should get my pens organized and then this wouldn't be such a bad such an issue. I think I'm going to work with that one, since that is today's volunteer. The only difference from last time is that this one's a softer tip, I believe. I think this is the softer tipped one. We'll see how it does with today's drawing. It should be fine. Addicted to pens. They're so good, aren't they? It's so good having so many of them. Of course, for me, the point is to use them, and boy, do I use them. So definitely. And that's not my only box that I have full of pens. There's a few more. So as long as they do some good work, then it's all great. So here we go. This is where we left off last time. So now it was blurry. Yeah, sometimes it will seem a little blurry if I'm not zoomed in enough. So that's why I just kind of zoomed back in. Made sure that you guys can see a little bit clearly. And I do try to keep an eye on this on my other screen to make sure that I can see if everything's okay. You asked because earlier today you started a doodle and it pretty much took over the page, just kept going. So I'm guessing that's referring to your question about whether there are too many doodles. And again, my response is definitely not. There's no such thing as too many doodles, because the whole point of doodling is to make you happy, make you content. So for sure, go as far as you need to. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's just keep going until it feels good. So for this one, I'm thinking I will still stick to the same motifs. I won't add any more designs. And of course, as usual, the thing that's always good for me to do is to, I think it's upside down actually, like it matters, but I'm going to go around some of these edges here and just add more ink, since I kind of started that over here, just drawing that darker line. You can't have just one. Yeah. So I'm going to just kind of take my time here and just start adding that thicker line. Some of you may have already done this. Maybe you didn't. This pen's doing pretty good. It does feel just a little different from the other pen. Just a little different. So in a second, I might still switch to the other one just because of the way it feels. And then, where is that guy? So this one is an older one, but it actually does better at creating some of those thicker lines. So I think that's actually what I'm going to use it for. So just some old-fashioned dark lines right here on the edge. I'm just trying to make sure that those older pens that get a little damaged, that I still put them to use. I don't like them to kind of end up in the trash just because I didn't use them. Okay. So this one's doing okay. This pen is working out okay. So hopefully I'm not making too many of you dizzy. I do have a tendency to kind of rotate my drawing a whole lot. Pretty much just as I see fit. I do a lot of rotating, spinning. And then as usual, I'm kind of snacking as I do this too, because I haven't eaten all day today. So same thing. How does one open a package of string cheese? Oh, there we go. So I'm looking around at my drawing here, and I do know that I have a couple of sections that I will be using. Obviously, there's this area here that I just added that dark line to. So I probably am going to start heading in here, and I will start to create these little, I almost want to call them donuts. I guess I'm thinking a lot about food. So these little designs here that are the circle with the dot inside. So these little tiny donuts. I'm going to make a kind of a pocket of them over here, I think. And of course, I will continue with some of these little swirls here. And I'm just going to be checking the chat here and there for any of you who have not joined me before during these live streams. We're just kind of pretty relaxed. We're just chatting and drawing. And probably even snacking. A little bit of snacking. Making sure you stay hydrated and everything. So I think I am going to start exactly the same way I did before with this area. And I believe I'm going to start about right here. So I'm going to do a little bit of rotating. And I'll start with a few of those. And I will zoom in just a little more. Make sure we can see what's happening here. So you're loving the tutorials. I'm just reading from Terry. Very helpful. Oh, I'm glad. I'm really glad you like them. Thank you. Yes, get yourself some snacks. You deserve it. Get yourself some snacks. This pen is wonderful. I don't think this is the right one. So apparently, when I really want to do line work, the soft tip Fudenosuke is not quite what I want right now. So I will be looking for its buddy over here. These are probably the ones that I was looking for. All the pens. How's this guy doing? Are you doing better? Okay. I think this guy's doing a lot better. Let's hope for the best. You're eating a Kit Kat. Yes. Some chocolate. Chocolate and sugar. Okay. So you can see I'm just kind of adding these little, they look almost like little question marks, little hooks. And I'm just letting them kind of grow out from this corner. And they're just, they come to a peak on the inside. And then in any place where I feel like I want to put something, I'll just make a little circle. Just a little circle to fill in. I don't have to. I could just fill it with black. And so I'm just going to slowly start working my way through there. Adding as many doodles as I want to. TS is asking, do you have any suggestions for drawing lines and shapes going counterclockwise, or is it just practice? You are able to draw clockwise, but not counter. That's interesting. I wonder if are you right-handed or left-handed? Maybe it has something to do with that. You want so Terry's asking about the pens. I definitely recommend this pen. So if I haven't already, I believe I did, I added a link to the set of these pens. And so it's 3 of them. So if you would like to try these out, check out the link. You probably already have these pens. If you don't, these are really good. There's a softer tip and a harder tip. And that's what comes in the kit. It's just a link to Amazon if you just want to take a look at it and check prices and things like that. This is definitely the pen I recommend. There are a few others that I have my eye on, but I haven't tried them, so I wouldn't know if they're good. Put a little circle right here. TS says, you are right-handed. And Jackie says, hello from Barbados. Hello. Hello there. So you are right-handed, so I'm kind of checking to see like the clockwise or counterclockwise. That's so interesting. I feel like really all it probably comes down to is if you're having a hard time drawing in a certain direction, especially when it comes to arches or circular forms, it's just coming down to practice. I have a tendency to kind of compare a lot of things to writing. So if you write, that's probably the direction in which your loops go. So it's just, that's what you've always practiced. So maybe just a little practice might help you draw the other way. Some of you may have already seen that when I draw, I have a tendency to rotate my drawing, and it's precisely because of that. It's because I just feel uncomfortable making curves in a particular direction. So you're not the only one. We all have that. You just got to practice a little more and you might get through that. I'm just going to add a few of these little miniature donuts right here. I've got food on my mind. Tiny, tiny donuts. Yeah, give these a try. These are definitely my favorite, these pens. So you just draw in the direction that feels natural to you at the moment? Yeah. Yeah, of course, someone's left-handed. You know what? I'm gonna tell you guys the truth right now. I totally cannot, like, it blows my mind when I see left-handed people drawing or writing. I don't know why. My brain is so weird. My husband is left-handed. And every time I see him write, it just blows my mind. I'm like, how can you do that? How can you use your other hand? As if it were really all that insane, right? It's crazy that we can do anything with our hands. It just blows my mind, especially when I see artists that are left-handed. Yeah, if one hand gives up, there's always the other one, for sure. I've noticed that a lot of left-handed people inevitably become kind of, what's the word for being able to use both? It's kind of silly, is it ambidextrous, right? Because of just kind of the difficulties you go through, I'm assuming, being forced to deal with a right-handed world. I know my husband has told me about that. That he just knows how to use both of them. Using tools, drawing, writing, picking things up. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, ambidextrous. Okay, I did remember the word. Yep. Which isn't that a silly word if any of you have thought of what that means? Dexterity means right-handed. It doesn't mean the correct hand. It literally means the right hand. And so when you're calling someone ambidextrous, it means they have two right hands. My husband finds that a bit offensive. He always gets a little bit upset with that word. That's a good little patch I've got going here, I think. I'm just going to add one more little swirl right here. That should do it. And then I'm going to start doing all the little donuts. Little patchy donuts. That's what they are today. Hi everyone. I know a couple of you just joined. Hello, hello. I don't want to get too caught up reading everything in the chat, but I do read it. I check it out. If you have a question for me, you are welcome to add it. Make sure to write Miss Betsy in there. That way I know that you're directing a question at me in particular. Otherwise, feel free to chat, say hello to each other. That's cool. Very cool. And I am just doodling here, hoping you're joining along with me, doodling a little bit. Have some fun, relax. I'm going to use my pencil real quick. I want to delineate a little zone here. Just a little one. Judy, you draw with both hands because of an injury. Wow, that is insane. That is crazy. Good job. For sure. It must have taken a lot of time. I have tried doing things with my non-dominant hand and ugh. So right now I'm kind of just using my pencil to delineate a zone that I want to use. Just trying to see what it'll look like. I think I'm going to fill this little area here with some of those little circles with the dots on the inside. That's what I'm going to do right now. Yeah. Hello. Violet blue. That's really pretty. That's probably my favorite color is a violet blue. Darth Patty. Snowy in Quebec. Dang. It's still kind of warm over here. I'm in California, so... Let's see here. I think this is where I'm going to start. If you are familiar with the way I do things, when I draw these designs, I start in the center. So here I am at the center right now. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by, I believe my cat is over in the bathroom kind of clanking the cabinet doors. He's being a little punk right now. So if you hear any noises or strange little sounds in my house right now, please know that I have a couple of cats and they are little brats and they run around my house making lots of noise. So that's just kind of a... And then also I live in a very busy street. There's a lot of noise from the street, so you might hear that sometimes too. And that is how life is around here, so there will be noise occasionally. So just keep that in mind. But what I was saying about these circles here is that I like to start them kind of in the center with some larger ones. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just starting with my larger circles. So right here. And right here. Okay. And then right here. So these are larger, and then as I work my way outward, those are going to get just a little bit smaller. Yes, fluff babies. They are. I believe some of you have met my fluffiest fluff baby, and he's a little floofer. And I think he's actually the one right now who's getting himself into trouble. I can hear it. I can hear him. He likes to get into the cabinets, and I have to be careful with him because he's just really, really curious. He's one of those curious boys. And he gets in the cabinets, and he might get himself locked in there, and then I hear him crying, "Let me out." It's always him. My girl cats are much more cautious. But that boy cat just can't stay out of trouble. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going here. So the pen's doing pretty good, actually. So let me see, what was the difference? Was this the same pen or the different pen? And I'm just checking really quick, like what it says. I can't even see if it says if it's the hard tip or the soft tip. I believe this doesn't have a tiny bit of English on it, other than the word "made in Japan." Huh, that's so interesting. It's kind of interesting seeing how the pens compare. So I could swear that it's supposed to be the same kind. I believe it is. It's the soft tip. It's probably just newer. It's always nice to note what differences there are among the pens. At least for me, I try to make sure I can see the difference. He keeps me on my toes. Yeah, that little boy. That boy cat. He's a big boy, actually. He weighs about almost 19 pounds. He's a very large, fluffy boy cat. And he can open things. If I weren't careful, that boy cat would steal my wallet or something. He knows how to use his little hands. A little punk. But he's sweet though, so that's always nice. Kind of makes up for everything. All his shenanigans. He's always trying to extort treats from me. And it works too. He's pretty good at what he does. Okay, so I think I'm just going to work my way all the way into this little gap. I think that should work out. But before I reach that edge, I'm going to do my usual thing. And I'm going to go along the edge of these shapes here with a bit of a darker line. Again, I'm just trying to make sure I maintain that separation between the kind of the different patterns. So let's do that right here before I get too close. So right here, I think that should be pretty good. Right here. And right here. So that should be pretty good. So again, I'm just drawing that nice little dark line, just separating everything. Not necessary. If you find this part annoying, of course, any part you find annoying, just skip it. Try the parts that work for you, visually, aesthetically, or really just with if your hand is able to cooperate. Try the parts you like, and then the ones you don't, just set them aside. Try something else. Let's say right here. I think I'm just going to fill this part in right here. Why not? Not every little spot has to have something. Okay, so that's pretty good right there. And so I'm just going to keep going that way, just heading over towards the edge like that. Hello there, Miss Melissa. Nice. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. We're just here doodling away, drawing little circles that look like donuts. little donut circles. Or if you're of a different mind, maybe these look like octopus, like the little suckers on their tentacles. Maybe that's what these look like. But I'm thinking donuts today. That's what these are. There we go. So they got super tiny, kind of going towards the edge there. They got very, very tiny. And I'm just going to start rotating and working my way around the other side. Very tedious work, but very fun. Totally worth it. You see big cells, like biology. Biological cells, maybe. Maritza asks, do your cats play with the toilet paper? Oh, you just reminded me of that. My last cat that I adopted, actually my husband adopted her. I shouldn't take credit for that. My husband loves cats. There was this little, I'm going to tell you guys the story of this crazy little cat that we adopted. This little kitty, she is a tuxedo kitty, so she's mostly black, and she's got white tummy, white little pawsies. And last year, my husband found her. It was raining and cold. She was outside in the backyard starving. Quite literally starving. She was all alone, and she looked pretty small, and she looked so pathetic. Poor thing was just so skinny. She couldn't even hold her tail up. She looked awful. And my husband, being a lover of cats and creatures, he went out there and rescued her. He started feeding her. And she started doing a little better. And of course, she got really attached to him because, of course, he was feeding her every day. Then he started feeding her twice a day. She started getting better. And she started following him to the back door. And she started getting better. You could notice she could hold her tail up. And then eventually we just said, you know what, bring her in. She's ours now. So we adopted her, took her to the vet, had her checked out and everything. She has that strange thing where she has extra digits. So it almost looks like she's got little mittens. It's so cute. And I had never had a cat that played with toilet paper. Never. None of my cats ever. I always thought it was weird, like, why do people's cats play with toilet paper? And then she proved me wrong. She would get in trouble with everything. She was just having fun discovering everything in my house, and she was just this little crazy thing. And then she discovered the toilet paper roll. So that's kind of where it all ties in. She discovered that, and I just heard her one day, because I had to keep her separate from my other cats until I was sure that she was clean. And so I would keep her in the bathroom sometimes. And I just started hearing that distinct little sound. Very distinct sound of ka-dunk, 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 as she just kind of hit the edge of the toilet paper over and over and over and over and over. And she's fast too, so she's like in a frenzy, just kind of hitting it. Dunk, 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 dunk. And it didn't take me long to go and catch her, and already half of the roll was on the floor. And I never got that, so it kind of blew my mind. I was like, really? The toilet paper? She destroyed so much toilet paper. And then I made a mistake one other time. Forgot to close the door, and she went in there right away and destroyed half a roll of toilet paper again. I just couldn't believe her. But she's so cute, though. Super, super cute. Tash, oh, you saved a bunch of cats too, another part of your family. Yeah, it's like you just can't help it. It's, if you're that kind of person, of course, it's not to say that it's, we're all like that. We're not. But if that's just kind of what floats your boat, it's what you do. You just can't walk away when there's a little critter that needs you. My husband's like that because we don't have kids, so for us it's critters, cats especially. In fact, most of the cats we have are because of him. It would seem that I'm the crazy cat lady, but I'm happy with maybe 2 cats. He's the one that keeps bringing me cats. He's the crazy cat lady. So yeah, for sure, there are men and women among us who can call themselves crazy cat ladies proudly. for sure. Nice. Happiness and Persistence says, hi, nice doodles. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Or if you're drawing along, that'd be really nice too. Yeah. Good time relaxing. You'll be traveling with your cat. Oh, that must be so rough. I've never traveled, especially on a plane with a cat. It's hard enough putting them in a car, like when we're moving. I do my best to not put them through too much stress. That must be really stressful. Very stressful. Buckley Scooter Polydactyl. Oh, thank you. I always forget that word. My husband reminds me all the time too. And then I forget it. So yeah, so multiple digits, multiple fingers, and hers are so cute. My cats, at least. I'm pretty sure they're cute on all cats, but I every time she gets in trouble, and she gets in a lot of trouble, like a lot. She's crazy. She breaks things all the time. And I look at her and I said, "What have you done with your hands today? You got no business having hands." She looks like she's got little hands with mittens on them. She's so precious. She happens to be one of those little kitters that's just little tiny girl. So that's kind of where she gets her cuteness from. Being super tiny and wild. But that's the fun. They kind of keep you on your toes with other little crazy stuff. Okay, you'll notice I'm just working my way around the edge as usual. I'm still doing the same old. So I went around the edge after I was done with all my little circles, my donuts, and worked my way around and added that thick black line. There we go. So there's that little zone. Let's zoom out just a tiny bit so that we can, there we go. We can see kind of what it looks like right now. This is what that little pocket looks like. Created this silly little bulge here. Pretty interesting. So again, this is what we're practicing. We're just making little textures and snacking. I'm snacking for sure. So that's what it looks like. I think that I'd like to find a couple more spots. I'm already looking at a few, like maybe over here. I will put that in there. I think that's a perfect spot for that. And yeah, I think it's just going to go all the way around. Like I'm going to find a couple different spots here. I'm actually starting to wonder what I'm going to put here because I do have space. And I definitely am not interested in getting any more patterns in here. So I think I'm just going to start with some of these little leaf shapes that I added in here. So if you see these right here, they're kind of long. I'm going to put a little cluster of them right here. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm going to give that a try right now. Just filling in spaces. And for this one, I'm going to try not to go all the way out to the edge. Just trying to leave some space around the outer edges for this one. Just my personal preference today. Just these little leaf shapes today. I noticed with this one it seems a little better if I draw slower. Not always my tendency, but it works out. There we go. Especially once you get the ink flowing. So okay, that's what I did right there. I just added some little leaves. I'm going to draw a few more. They're kind of going to extend out this way right now. So there's that one. Right there. Maybe a long one here. Why not? That should be fine right there. And then I think I'm just going to add a couple more here. And it's just got a little line on the inside, almost like a tiny, tiny leaf. Like that. Should be fine. "22 Monday, you see a little creature with bulging eyes and long hair pulled back." Yeah, Yeah, there's all sorts of interesting things to see in these, huh? Lots of creatures and eyeballs and all sorts of strange things. I think that's what's so interesting when you draw a little more somewhat abstractly like this. It gives your mind a chance to interpret things differently. So that's pretty nice. I know this isn't super abstract, but it's pretty close. Pretty close to abstract. None of these shapes or forms are definitely like defined too clearly. They're just shapy. Textures, flowing lines. I think I like that so far. I want to switch to something else here. So first I need to start with that line just to separate them. Just like that. That should be pretty good. I'm going to grab some of my apple here, make sure I'm not forgetting to eat that. So I think that should be pretty good. Okay. Oh, nice. It looks like there's 42 here with me today. Very nice. Thank you if you're here. Hoping you're enjoying yourself, drawing just for a little while. I'm also keeping an eye on the clock. Sometimes I wish I could just move along faster, but there's really no point. I hope we could finish this today. It looks like all these little details take longer than it seems, huh? It always takes longer. And of course, I'm also chatting and doing other things, so of course that kind of adds to the time here. It's not a problem. It's just how it goes. I think that right here, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to create something that's kind of like this guy here. So these little, what I called these little hooks or question marks, I want to put some here just kind of flowing out, but they're going to be longer. So this is what I'm going to do. They're pretty simple. They're almost going to look like these little vines. And sometimes I like to do that when I don't want to fill a space solidly, but I just want something that kind of just flows outward. So I'm just going to add a few of these. Again, they're just longer. So there's 2 of them. Maybe I can put a few of those kind of circles here, the donut circles that we're using today, just to kind of make it look a little bit more cohesive. Maybe right here. And then I think I'm going to put another one over here. So about here. I'm going to get a few of those little circle-y thingies. I'm okay with that. I think that looks pretty good right there. If I remember to, I might add a few more. I do like to do this thing where I kind of leave a few to kind of float. Call them the floaters. They're just kind of out here. Out here. Little floaters. Like little spores that are just kind of fluttering away. Something like that. So you were doing that earlier and then you started adding little dots to fill in some of the spaces. Yeah. Yeah, fill it in if you want to. I just like to have out towards the edges of the drawing. I let it kind of fade away that way. So I don't fill everything. I just kind of let them kind of be a little more scattered. It's just my choice. A little bit scattered. And maybe like that. I'll leave it like that. So that's kind of an area. So it just looks like it's kind of fading away like that. So let's see here. I think I'm going to move on to this corner down here. Make it look so effortless. And yours are a work in progress. Well, I will consider that a compliment. So thank you. Thank you for that. I do know that it does take practice. So for sure, keep working at it. you'll get to what you want if you just keep practicing, give yourself time. I know that we talk about it a lot here. I definitely talk about it a lot, is that your mindset makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Thank you so much. And then I think you asked what pen? Oh, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll show you again. This is the Finalizing. This is not even in English. I'll show you the one that's in English. Tombow. It's a Tombow Finalizing, also not in English. Oh my goodness, I bought all of the non-English pens. Finalizing Tombow brush pen. Hard tip and a soft tip. If you want to check them out and you want to do me a favor, if you want to get a set, use the link in the description. I usually get like a tiny kickback from each purchase made through my links. I would appreciate that. These are excellent pens, and I recommend them because I love them so much. So yeah, for sure. If you like this, it's actually not too bad. The price for the set that I linked to, it's 3 pens, so you get one of these of the soft, one with a hard tip, and then there's another one in the set. I think it's like a gray pen, which is also really good when you're drawing. Sometimes you don't always want just a black ink pens. I'm wondering if I should just fill this area in with black, but I don't think I want to. Sometimes I just kind of take the difficult route, and I take my time and just kind of draw in those teeny tiny little spaces. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's definitely what I'll do. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Charlene says, I really appreciate your videos. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like them. I'm trying to do things differently from other people. I want us to take our time and just kind of hang out. I'm not looking to attract an enormous crowd and be the most popular person. I just want to actually provide something that we'll all enjoy and that I'll enjoy. So I'm glad that you're enjoying this. Thank you for being here. I just want things to be relaxing for all of us. Let's see. Is there a similar waterproof pen you'd recommend? I'm looking through the chats really quickly. This isn't still live? No. It's actually really difficult. So I did realize that that last time somebody, I don't know if it was you, but so here's how you know if it is live. And this is going to be weird because I know some people will watch the replay and then they'll think, oh, is it live now? Is it not live? But at least right now, at this moment that I am sitting here, we are on a live stream. This is live. How in the world do you know if we're on live? Do any of you know? Let's do the, like we're in a classroom thing. Who knows? How can you tell if you're on a live stream or not? You can tell. Your post says 17 hours ago. That's so strange. Oh, I think I know what you're looking at. I posted the announcement for this 17 hours ago. Yeah, that was when it was posted. But the fact that you are able to type into the chat means that we are on live right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's and don't feel bad if you're confused. Please don't feel bad. It happens to all of us sometimes, especially like this when we're just like chilling, and you can get kind of lost in it and you start thinking like, wait, is this live? So if you're able to type into it and it says chat, then we are currently live streaming. But if you can only type into the comments section, that means you're watching the replay. It's a slight difference. Comments and chat are different things. So yeah, whenever you happen to be watching this, keep an eye on that. And I'm only really explaining because I know that some members, some people who join us, maybe don't have as much experience using technology this way. So that's why I'm saying don't feel bad. It can be confusing. For some people it's easy and they think, oh, it's just how it is. It's silly, but nice. Yeah, and then Alan is reminding us, it says live when you hold the cursor over the video. Yeah, that's exactly true. You'll see kind of this little word, and I think it's red. It's like bright red so like when you log into it as well, it'll say live. It should not say live afterwards. It'll just look like a normal video. I think the confusion sometimes is that there are some YouTubers who put the word like live or live stream onto their thumbnail, and it's confusing because they're not live anymore. It's silly. It just looks like they're live long after, even though they're not. Okay, so there I added a bunch of these little donuts, tiny donuts, onto the edge there. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Gloria is also mentioning, if you ask a question and get a response, that means that you were here live. Yeah, of course, because if you ask a question and I don't respond, it's likely that you're watching the replay. But yeah, don't feel bad. You'll get used to it. If you join more live streams, whether they're mine or somebody else's, you'll start getting used to it. It's just technology. That's how it goes. Remember to give me a thumbs up. Yes, that would be nice. Thank you. I have been looking into a lot of that. I don't know how much those of you who are here keep an eye on that kind of thing, on like how YouTube works or any of that. And the thumbs up does help. It's really nice. I've been learning that there are actually other types of things that help. And it's just things that you all naturally do anyway, which is showing up. Just the fact that you showed up helps. Even if you don't hit the thumbs up, it's fine. The algorithm already read the data. It kind of reads into the metadata, and it also reads that you're interacting. That helps too. So yeah, any little bit that you do is much appreciated. Thank you so much. And as usual, if there's quite a bit going on in the chat and I don't read your message, I'm sorry about that. I'm just kind of making sure that I'm still drawing. I do have a bunch of orders that happened recently from you guys from my site, and I have a huge stack of boxes for any of you who ordered anything from me recently. Yeah, if any of you ordered something from me recently, you will be getting it soon. Lots and lots of boxes, everything's packaged up. I'm trying to make sure that everything is right, so if it's taking a little longer than you'd like, just please know. I'm trying to make sure everything is perfect and right for all of you. But yeah, for sure. And yes, of course, definitely just the fact that you're watching, since we were talking just now about how YouTube works. Yeah, that you're watching, I get the ad revenue. They've simplified how ads are done. And so it will hopefully, not too much, it'll probably give you a few ads even during the live stream. So that might be what's confusing a few of you. A couple of ads probably will pop up occasionally. But yeah. And then that's just a little bit of revenue that I get each month, so that helps. And I always find it really interesting, not because I'm like super obsessed with numbers or being a popular YouTuber or anything like that. I just find it so interesting in terms of like the mathematics, because as a math geek myself, I kind of know a little bit, not too much, about programming and that kind of thing. So there's a whole lot of mathematics involved in that. And I like knowing how all of that works. How do those programs work? How do they pick up on data? How do they put it together and use it? And it's all numbers. It's really just a numbers game. So let me zoom out just a tiny bit so you guys can see where we're at right now. Nice. Oh yeah, so I think somebody mentioned that when you watch on your phone, it can be a little more difficult. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, on your phone, it'll be difficult to tell. I know, Melissa, you ordered another one, so yeah, your box is got a bunch of goodies in there. Yeah. What size paper are you using? Asks Zen Mama. This paper is slightly larger. It is a 9x12. It's just sketch paper. I like using slightly larger paper when I'm drawing here because that extra little bit kind of helps when I'm making my digital renderings. So I need to be able to scan this and get a good quality picture. It just helps. But this is 9 inches by 12 inches if you're wondering which paper. And it is just sketch paper. Melissa, you have microns, but you're looking for a waterproof brush pen. I know you asked earlier. I am thinking about it. Waterproof brush pen. The only ones that I've tried, and I don't know if this is what you're talking about, is there are the other Tombow pens. I don't think I have any on my desk right now. I don't know if you've ever tried those. If you're talking about brush pens, do you mean like these Fude Nosuke pens, or are you talking about like watercolor kind of pens? Because I know the watercolor pens are not waterproof. So yeah, I'm not sure that I would have specifically like a good recommendation right now. But we can look into it, see if we can find anything good for you. There are also calligraphy pens if you ever want to try those. Those might work for you, calligraphy pens. Technology is crazy. Very crazy. Fude Nosuke. Yes. It is interesting. I don't speak the language, so yeah. I'm probably mispronouncing it most of the time. I just remember someone helped me out a couple months ago when I said, I have no idea how to say this. And they said, you kind of don't pronounce part of it, so it's just Fude Nosuke. You don't pronounce that like the U. You don't say oo there, but yeah. Fude Nosuke pens. These are excellent if you haven't tried them. Definitely give them a try. This is kind of a crazy little area that I'm in right now. Lots of spaces in there, so I'm kind of just doing my best to get some shapes in there. So Kim is recommending a waterproof brush pen by Pigma, and it's the professional brush. It works on watercolor or Bristol. Okay, that sounds really good. I'll be honest, I'll write that down too. I've never tried that one. So the Pigma professional brush. Some people have been giving me recommendations for other pens as well. So I would love to try them as well so that I don't like to recommend anything that I haven't tried, of course. So if you guys give a recommendation, I'll do my best to pick some up and try them out. That way I can tell you guys if they're good, if I like them. So let's see. Very nice. You're asking, do you intentionally not show your face for privacy? Oh, that's a good question. Should we discuss that? It's not about privacy for me right now. It's about embarrassment. It's much more human than my need for privacy. I just don't feel like I'm presentable. And I'm working on that. It's just a matter of, what would you call it? Self-image. It's a matter of self-image. I'm working on it. I just don't feel like I can be in front of a camera, and I don't want you to feel like any weird way about this, but I feel gross. It's just that kind of thing. I'm not used to being in front of a camera. I'm not used to showing my face, and yeah. And I think most people are okay with me just showing myself drawing, and I know that it could help add more of a human connection if you were able to see my face. And I'm working on it. I have been practicing actually being in front of a camera. I have a new setup, and I'm practicing talking and just being okay with me being in front of a camera. So there is a chance that soon you will see me. So yeah, it's a good question. It's really interesting. I have thought about it for a long time. Thought about it for quite a while. But yeah. Yeah, you totally get it. Yeah. Yeah, my avatar. Yeah, that's me. You kind of know what I look like. Kind of. It's just you kind of have to zoom in. It's not so clear. And then people like in black and white don't always look the same in real life. You know, there's always the nuances of seeing someone like actually moving around. You can see more detail to their faces. And it is such a personal thing for you to be able to see my face, like my visage, the way that I speak. And I think it's just been kind of a journey for me. If you want me to be honest, it's been a huge journey for me. Even showing my hands has been difficult. Because I don't know how much of these kind of issues any of you have ever had, but I've always had kind of like issues looking at myself in photos or in videos. And so just the fact that I'm here, the fact that I can draw and show you my hands is a huge step for me. I was so scared to show my hands. And it seems like these days I've been getting better at it. And I just, with all of this practice, I just had to let it go. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm just kind of reading what you're writing in the chat. Thank you. Voice and hands can't belong to a wrong face. You're doing fine. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It would be fine. Yeah, to not show face at all. That works too. I've considered that. I just feel that if I want to continue progressing, just personally, of course, if I want to continue progressing, it's just kind of those like personal little steps that I'm taking. Yeah. They're all just personal decisions. So a little bit at a time. I think that's what this has been for me. One step at a time. I started simply by just being brave enough just to share my drawings. That was hard. Any of you who have tried that, that is so difficult. Putting your work out there for other people to talk about or not, or to ignore maybe. Sometimes it's even harder being ignored. That was difficult. And then making videos where you could see my hands, that was so difficult. Yeah. And then I think my next step will soon be actually showing my face. Just a little bit at a time, baby steps. I think that's how I'm going to get this accomplished. The dot on my finger. Yeah, that's there. That's how you know it's me. It's the signature, right? It's a signature move. Is you know it's me. If that's not there, you know it's a clone of me. Don't trust her. Don't trust her. She's lying. You gotta look for the dot. Because that happened a few years ago. I got a scratch and something got in there. And then I've had the little dot ever since. It's just, life gave that to me. Your granddaughter has a similar one. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's such a strange thing, isn't it, to have like issues with your own body, because it's really interesting that even any of you asked. It's just like I think about it a lot because my hands are so important to me. I consider myself. I'll even zoom out since I'm talking about it. Might as well just be fully open. I have really beefy hands. I always have. So I've always been kind of a strong person in the sense that like I've always done jobs that require a lot of strength, arm strength, and so I have like these kind of beefy working man hands. And that's always made me feel really self-conscious about not having girly fingers. I have so many friends who have just these little dainty hands and they're just so pretty. And then speaking of like other issues, you know, having any kind of body hair, some people don't like that. And then so I've always had that. So actually being here and being able to show you my wigglers, you too, you have manly hands. Yeah. And you know what? What's silly is I would never hate on anyone. I'd tell everyone you have wonderful hands. If they do the job, the muscles do the thing, you can do work. I do cooking. I do yard work. I'm out there doing work with my husband. These are wonderful hands. And yet it was one of the most difficult things for me to do, to actually get on screen here and that I can actually show you my hands and not feel panicked. That was huge. So yeah, for any of you who have anything like that, if you have any issues, it's okay. Only someone who's a total jerk would say something bad to you about that, and in that case, you don't need to listen to them anyway, because they're jerks. So yeah, that's today's public service announcement. Thanks to Melissa. Thank you. It's a pretty good discussion sometimes just to ask kind of questions like that, because I think it matters. So I just got done with that little area there. I think it looks pretty cute. And that's kind of what I'm doing around here, if you're wondering what we're doing here. Your fingers are called party sausages. My goodness. Yeah, especially if you're kind of overweight, which I am too. I'm overweight. Your handsies are going to be a little sausagey. Mine are a little sausagey. Or a little muscular or whatever. We all have different hands. So interesting. Your party sausages. Yes, that's today's PSA. Maritza, you are perfect. Oh, thank you. Manly hands. Raise your hand if you have manly hands. Shouldn't even call them manly hands, huh? They're just working hands. It shows that you've done things with your life. You've been places. You've experienced things. That's what that means. They shouldn't be manly hands, huh? It just feels that way, because my husband is I'm Mexican. My husband is his last name is McFall, so he's I don't even know how to explain it. He's like Celtic background, so he's a very hefty person, and he's got these really strong, quote unquote, manly hands. And then sometimes I hold my hands near his just to show, like, see, I got this too. I got this. I can do this. Manly hands thing. So I always like that. I like seeing people who have strong hands. It's a good sign. It shows you do stuff. Never be afraid of that. So I'm just adding some leafy shapes right here. There we go. Finger size is 9. Yeah. My goodness. I think I'm much more than that these days. I think the last time I checked, finger size is like 11, I think. Yeah. We've all got different things going on. Different things. And so, yeah. I just try to remember that these are the hands that the universe gave me. These are the hands that I have because I work. They're the hands that I have because I used to throw newspapers. I used to be able to chuck, how much do those things weigh? 20-pound newspaper on a Sunday, clear over the top of my car. Those were my hands who did that work. My arms and hands, and I should be proud of that. Of the work that I've done. I can carry multiple jugs of milk or water or whatever and not feel like I'm breaking. It's good. It's good to be able to use that. So I've added this little cluster here. So these are just these long leaves. So it looks pretty good. Okay, so that's nice. Yeah. All your stress went into your hands. Yeah. That happens, actually. I've been noticing that. Yeah. Yeah. Melissa, you pictured me as Native American. You can continue picturing me that way because I am. It's just in Mexico, Native Americans are just people. So yeah, for sure. As far as looks, if we are discussing my looks, at least, I've been, people confuse me for being Hawaiian, and that's fine. Hawaiian people are beautiful. I consider that a compliment. Yeah, Native American. It's the Mayan Aztec ancestry that I've got in my family. But you'll meet me soon enough when I start posting videos with just little snippets of me. You'll see. So here I'm just going to add that thick line. There we go. It makes such a huge difference to add that line right there. Huge difference. I love that. That little magical thing that happens when you add a dark line around something. So that's what I'm doing right now. Nice. You're at home doodling, going places, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to continue. So those long kind of curving little shapes, I'm going to add a few of those here. So that way, again, it's for that cohesiveness. When you have a drawing, it just really helps a lot if you can try to stick to just a handful of designs. And you know what? If you can't stick to the same handful of designs, just go for whatever your soul tells you to do. Feel free to play around. So that's what I'm adding right here. I do notice that these pens, if you kind of pause for a few minutes, they dry out just a tiny bit on the tip, but then you have to kind of prep them again. I think that might be the only downside in my mind about these pens. But it looks like after just a few strokes, they start flowing again pretty nicely. So there's those two, and I think that's it. I'm just going to add a few of my little tiny donuts. Tiny donuts. Right there. Maybe one here. Just a couple of them just to fill in. You need to practice your leaves. Yeah. Yeah, practice. And sometimes you may think that it's maybe a little silly. I think that some people, when they get frustrated because they think it's such a simple thing, why can't I do it? I know there's some things that are hard for me to draw, and I get frustrated because of that, because I think, well, why can't I draw faces, or why is it so hard to draw hands or something? Rather than get frustrated, I just try to remind myself that everything requires some skill. Even simple circles or leaves, it requires skill. You gotta practice it. Simple lines require practice. Yeah. The tip of your pen got streaky. Did you smush it? That's a technical term. You probably smushed the tip of the pen, unfortunately. Were your kids using it? Yeah. That's what's hard when you got little ones. If your kids borrow your pens, they aren't going to be super nice to it. They are going to do crazy things with your art supplies. Maybe keep them somewhere separate. Give them their little kid markers while you keep your own somewhere else. Suzette says flowers are hard. Yeah, they can be. And it depends on what kind you're trying to draw as well, right? Are you trying to make them perfectly symmetrical? Or are you drawing them from an angle so they look a little different? It all requires practice. Let me put a few floaters here. Little floaty guys. I know that we're doodling here, but even if you draw like in a different style, maybe you like to draw a little bit more realistic, same thing, you need to practice. You gotta keep practicing. Okay, so I think that's good for this little corner right here. Yeah. Just trying to make something look like a flower. Yeah, practice. You gotta keep practicing. You get heavy-handed sometimes. Is it better to have a lighter touch? So that's Gloria asking. I suppose you can try. I think overall, yes, it's always better to have a lighter touch. I will tell you that. If you're gripping your pen like it's your life depends on it, then you're gonna have a hard time no matter what. You're gonna strain your hands. I know I have told people before, loosen up. Ease up on that. Your life does not depend on it. You gotta just set it down, wiggle your hand a little bit, try to relax, and then go back and try to hold it gently. And try not to hold it so close to the tip. Bring it back a little bit. So just another inch or so. And then just again, draw lightly, draw gently. So yeah, that might be part of it. Might want to be a little more gentle with your, not necessarily with your supplies, but be gentle with yourself. Having that death grip on your pen is going to strain your hands. I've been learning about that a lot lately. You gotta, yeah. Drawing is like learning handwriting. Exactly. You have to practice. Practice, 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 practice. When you were kids, right? You practiced a lot. They made you practice. But now it's up to you. You've got power over yourself. You have to decide. If you want something, you got to do it. Be the master over your own fate. You can do it. And you don't have to have anybody forcing you to do it. You can just do it because you want to. So, and you'll notice too, when I do my lines here, sometimes I go over them again. It's not a bad idea to kind of go over it again, just kind of get a feel for it. Why not? But yeah, when I'm using this pen, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually try not to press too hard. I'm kind of medium with my pressure. Because yeah, otherwise you'll kind of mess up the tips. You don't want to do that. So there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that spot. Crazy little spot. We're all over the place, but we're working our way around. And we have been here a little more than an hour, but I'm happy to just keep going since we're actually making good progress here. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Hopefully, we're having fun. Getting doodly today. Gonna add a few floaters here. It's a nice way to kind of add a design without having to fill it entirely. Make a little cluster right here for good measure. There we go. Nice. Oh, and Ellen is talking about sketchbooks of your work. Yeah, if you have those, you can really track how you're doing, how you're moving along. That is good. I like to look through my sketchbooks for that exact reason, because I can see kind of, it's the memories that are attached to. You remember kind of what you were doing, what you were up to, how you were feeling. For me, it's like a visual journal of my life. Yeah. That's absolutely true. So Pepper is asking, what's your favorite pattern to draw? If you're asking me, as far as patterns, I don't think I have a favorite one. I like them all. The more intricate, the better. I like them all. As you can see from the way that I draw, I just like things that flow, that look like they're moving and swirling. I love so many of these patterns. For me, it's about the variety and getting lots of interesting things. Like that. Lots of little floaters here because I'm kind of reaching upon this edge. I'm going to put a few leaves right here too, I think. Again, for good measure, right? Suzette, you've been filling sketchbooks. Yeah, doesn't it feel good? It feels so good. And those sketches don't have to feel like complete masterpieces. You just do something. Just do something, yeah. And maybe they will be masterpieces. You don't know. You might surprise yourself. Just because you give yourself a chance. You opened up a sketchbook. You put something in it. Give yourself an hour to doodle around, scribble around, and then you discover something you didn't know before. And that's the best feeling. And then eventually you find that you are making masterpieces just because you tried. Let's put a little floater here. I think I'm good with that area right there. Let's see how it looks overall. Let's zoom out really quickly. Look at this madness really quickly. So this is what we've got. We filled in all this. It looks like we just have kind of this little area here and a little bit of this. So I think we're going to be finishing it today in just a few more minutes. 22 Mondi, so glad you're here when you can't sleep. Yeah, I'm glad. So that way it's a little relaxing. I know I can put people to sleep. So You're welcome. If you need some sleep, I'm here for you. I'm a little boring, a little monotone at times, and I think that's probably a good thing. Beautiful things can come from manly and ugly hands. That's so true. Absolutely. Or from ugly or manly anything, really, right? You just have to try. Well, this is where we're at right now. Suzette, you treat it like a meditation practice. Yeah, of course. And then you don't have to do anything this structured. Even this is kind of structured. Follow along with what I draw, but definitely, if you have something else that comes to you, just do it. Go with it. I know that I've seen lots of people who do this for meditation, and you can come up with so many interesting things just while you're there thinking about stuff, you know? Do whatever it is that you need to do at that time, and you're going to surprise yourself. Very, very much you're going to surprise yourself. Suzette, you've been showing your work to art communities. That's really nice. Yeah, sharing. Share as much as you can. I want to draw some leaves here, and I'm trying to figure out what angle. If you see me kind of rotating this, that's what's happening right now. Definitely sharing is really good. Zen Mama, think your voice is gentle and soothing. That's good. Thank you. I try not to be too abrasive. I'd rather not be abrasive, but I can be. But I choose not to. I've gone through enough of that to kind of be picking fights with people these days. I'd rather just be chill, just kind of hang out, be silly, be calming, just chat. The swirls really make the donuts stand out. That's true. Yeah, it's that difference. If any of you are wondering about the design element of that, it's that difference in the contrast. Sometimes you learn just through experience, or maybe I'll teach it eventually or something like that. But through experience, when you're kind of drawing and doodling, you're always learning something. And what happens is when you're playing, you're trying out different things, you end up finding little things that you're like, oh, those two work really well together. Kind of like pairing a certain dish with a certain wine. You just learn it through experience. And so what you end up doing is you find that, oh, that swirl and those little circles work well together. And then you kind of add that to your artistic, kind of like your vocabulary in a sense, right? You just learn stuff, and then you kind of have it in your mind, and the next time you're drawing, you just kind of try it again and tweak it a little. So yeah, pay attention when you do that kind of thing. Yeah. Today you bought a lot of supplies. Nice. Pepper, when do you go live? Most of the time, I go live at the same time that I did today. So where I'm at in California, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, that's when I go live. Occasionally, I might set it up at a different time. I think I've done a live at different times 2 other times, but for the most part, we've been here on Wednesdays at 5. So anybody else who's wondering, that's when we do this. So from Kim, going to add my attempt to your sketchbook. Yeah, of course. I have sent out a bunch of orders already, and then like I mentioned earlier, the last grouping of books and sketchbooks are going out to the rest of you tomorrow morning. The pile of boxes is going out. You will be receiving things soon. It was a lot of boxes, you guys. When do you go live again? Oh, okay. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm reading things. So Pepper had asked, when do you go live? And when do I go live again? So again, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. If I don't go live on a Wednesday, my goal is to announce in the community posts. I'll let you know if I don't. But pretty much, aside from that, it's a surprise. If there's any other additional day that I'm going to go live, you'll see an alert. So sign up for my notifications if you want to know. But pretty much you can expect me on Wednesday, and any other kind of bonus days. That's what I'll call them, bonus days. If I ever do this on a bonus day, make sure that you have notifications on and you will be alerted when I put up a kind of the thumbnail for one of those. Yeah, you can expect me on Wednesdays for sure. I wonder what day Christmas is this year. Tash, for you it's Thursday. Yeah, so check according to your time. Yeah, for me it's Wednesdays 5 p.m. If you're all the way around on the other side of the world, for you it's Thursday morning, early on Thursday. Yeah. Yep, check your times. Check your clocks. We're almost done here. Holy cow. I like the way this is turning out. It's really nice. It's so crazy how the beginning of it happens so quickly, and then that ending part just takes forever. But this one's moving along pretty nicely, so I'm very, very happy with this. A couple of little floaters here for good measure. Kind of tie it all together. And then here we got the last section. So I'm going to do that part here where I add in that dark line. That's what I'm going to do here. Dark lines. My pen's yelling at me, telling me to go slower. Okay, pen. I think these are the pens that I've been using for a couple of weeks, so they're starting to run just a little low on ink. So I think that's why it wants me to slow down. That's okay. I'll slow down. Pepper. Oh, you wrote it twice. Yeah. Oopsies. It's okay. I don't mind. It happens. It happens. We're just doodling anyway, right? Just being doodly. Drawing, whatever you want to call it. I know people have asked, is this doodling or is it drawing? It's everything. It's whatever you want it to be. It's a masterpiece. It's a practice. It's a sketch. Whatever you need it to be. It's therapy. Alan, Christmas is on a Monday. Oh, nice. So then I guess we'll be drawing 2 days after Christmas. Why not? Christmas doodles. I don't really do too much for holidays. Just because of my family's background, I don't really run around doing a bunch of crazy things for the holidays. So I usually kind of relax. So it's usually pretty nice for me to just be able to do this kind of thing. So it'll be nice. Hey, kitty. Looks like my little fur babies are over here causing trouble again. And it also looks like the humans on the street near my house are making a lot of noise. I think that if ever, I know I've mentioned this before, it just comes up every time. When I'm ready to move, I will happily move somewhere away from a main road, somewhere where I won't have to listen to the loud cars. I think that's what I'm looking forward to so much. Not have to hear everybody's mufflers, crazy mufflers. That would be so good. I'm pretty sure it will take me a long time to adjust to conditions where there's less noise. But I will happily do it. Somewhere quiet where I can hear the birds. More than just pigeons, because I hear the pigeons in the morning. They're cute. But maybe a few more birds. Nice. You bought a lasagna. Oh, that sounds so good. Big fat lasagna. I should make some. I haven't made lasagna in such a long time. That sounds so good. Obviously, I have food on my mind. Thank you guys for reminding me. Cynthia testing? What are you testing, Cynthia? Are you testing the audio? 1, 2, 3. I actually do that when I test the microphone on things. It's kind of silly, but it works. Testing, testing. We're almost done. Oh my goodness. I love that feeling when we start getting to the end of a thing. So good. We're getting there. How about I put one here? One of these little guys. Little swirly guys right here. I am live. We actually had a discussion earlier about how you decide if something is live or not. If you get a chance to watch the replay, you might be able to hear that discussion. Yeah. We were definitely talking about that. If you see the chat and you're able to type in it, it means we're live. And if you don't see if you can't type into the chat, but you can only type into the comments, it means you're watching the replay. That is the shortened, condensed version of the conversation we had a little while ago. Yep. Glad you're here. Glad you could join us. Looks like there are 58 here today. A couple more joined, so if you joined recently, we're actually coming to the end of this. We are about to reach a conclusion about this drawing. We will be concluding it soon. Not ending it. This drawing will live forever. Just adding these little swirls here at the end, a couple of floaters. Yeah, I think I'll just add a few more right here. That'll be nice. So yeah, again, the reminder for anyone, if you want to catch me Wednesdays at 5. It seems to be working for me. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but it kind of has to work for me. That's when you can catch me here. We'll draw together. We'll chat. You can listen to me while you fall asleep. That's fine. I can be chill. There we go. You'll notice that kind of in these areas, I just kind of sprinkle a little bit of everything in there. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's some spots that are more chaotic, and that's nice. We can be chaotic. We can be just a little chaotic. You've 22 Mondi says you've been wanting to make, I'm not sure, tamales? Is that what you're asking? Making tamales. We should have a tamale party. I know how to make them a couple different ways. My mom taught me, and then I kind of taught myself a few extra recipes, but yeah, they're so much work. A friend of mine actually invited me recently to maybe join her for her tamale making party, because she could always use extra hands. So I might actually be joining a friend for that. That's going to be fun. And yes, they are intimidating. There's so much work. So good. So good. Yeah, for sure. Hello, Kathy from South Australia. Fist bump. Thank you for joining and for saying hello. I know tamales aren't a thing for everybody, but for sure, where I come from, oh my goodness. So good. I suppose it's that kind of thing that reminds you of home, you know? So if it reminds you of that, if you fly out here, you'll have a place to stay. Yeah. That would be really nice. Be very nice. I was just thinking about that too recently when my husband and I did our little like Thanksgiving dinner sort of thing. We cooked a turkey and made food together. It's just so nice when the kitchen is warm and just all the smells, just wonderful, wonderful smells. and it's something that I never take for granted. The warm kitchen, the smells of a home, the warmth, because there were so many times when I didn't have that. Times when we had to run away from the house because my stepdad was abusive. So many times where we just had to be somewhere else and be cold. And when I'm here at home and I see that it's home, and you guys know, it's home, right? It feels different. It's so good. So if you've never had the misfortune of going through that kind of stuff, this is a great time to be appreciative of your home, the warmth. Germany. Wattle seed in the tortillas. That's so interesting. Yeah. I've never actually heard of that. I don't know what that is. Send me one. Send me some of that in the mail. Pepper, bless you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a strange place sometimes. Sometimes I find that I get kind of emotional about simple things. But I guess that's how things go. My experiences have taken me to some unfortunate things. And so I kind of have to deal with that. A friend of ours has kids, and they are such good parents, and I kind of like get a little emotional seeing that they're such good parents. And I tell them that too. I'm like, you're such good parents. I hope I'm not making anyone uncomfortable. 22 Monday, never heard of wattle seed. I have to look that up too. Or if you want to look it up, tell me what it is. Lemon myrtle. Yeah, my Google aficionados. Look it up. Tell me what it is. I have no idea. Is it like a seed? A condiment? What is it? Does it taste good? I like food. I believe we might be done here. I think we might be done skis here. I'm just adding a few more little thingamajiggies here and there. And I think we might actually be getting pretty close to done here. Let's zoom out briefly so we can see what's going on here. Okay, so here is what has occurred so far. This is what we've got. So I think it's looking pretty decent. Nice. DB, nice to share and to get it out. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I have talked to other people about it. I don't feel too uncomfortable telling people about that kind of thing. But yeah, it's how things go, for sure. It tastes nutty. Okay, you know what? Now I have to look it up. Nutty, huh? Yeah, everything that happens to us makes us who we are, yeah. Kathy, picture is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's done. What do you guys think? Is it done? I think this would be so good once it finally gets into that. Again, this is going to be part of a coloring book for next year, I think, maybe around February or so. I want to make a really big coloring book, and I'm actually going to look for an official publisher to get this out there, or I'll publish through Amazon or whatever. So yeah, this is kind of what's going to be happening over the next few months. I think it looks good. Maybe just a few edits here and there, anywhere where my lines got a little sketchy or scratchy or something like that. But this is pretty much a good start for things. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you guys were here with me. Yeah, is there a link to my store, Alan? If you want to look for my store, you'll find it in the description. It is where it says that you can get my free printables or my books. So it's basically just betsyj.gumroad.com, but you'll see the link there. Yeah, it's in the description if any of you want to go check it out. I do have free coloring pages. If you haven't gotten those, get them. They're free. Oh my goodness. And you can just download them and print them, that we can try some designs. Some are older, some are newer. I also have a coloring book that is a PDF printable for $5 if you want to try some of the drawings that I've done already. You can try those out. But yeah, this is going to be for the next one. I want it to be a big one. My goal is 50 images, but I might shoot for 100 if I can. I want it to be like a big, fatty coloring book. It's going to be fun. And this is going to be one of them. Yep, that's going to be it. You just made it. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm glad that you guys were here, having lots of fun. But yeah, I believe this is the end of it. This is the end for this drawing for tonight. I'm glad that you were here, that you joined me. Hopefully you had fun. And so I hope that you have a good night, a good time. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Peace and love. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye. Good night.